Hey traders, and welcome to an amazing edition of Awesomecalls Trading.com. Boy, we had a great list today. Oh, it was so much fun to trade today. I was done probably, it took me about an hour to get my money today. I didn't make $50,000. I didn't make $50,000, but I did what I needed to do today to pay my bills. And most importantly, it was important to make sure that everyone was a part of it. It never ceases to amaze me how, you know, traders like, I don't know, I guess I'm not, you know, not everyone can have $1 million account. Not everyone can be super rich. Not everyone is perfect. I would say 97% of the day traders out there are all trying to figure themselves out and become something. And, you know, I try to make day trading more um, realistic, fun. But the bottom line is you're not going to be successful in an awesome calls trading. It's really all about education because you really need to be educated. You need to understand why a stock's going to make a move before it does. And I believe in my heart and in my soul that the more you understand the backbone of why a stock's going to move a certain direction, the more profitable you're going to be as a trader. Understanding the move before the move is the most important thing. Yeah, you could be, like I say, for hundreds of years, you could be the most talented technical trader in the world and have the VWAPs lined up, the EMAs, the lines, and all these things. But in realistically, to be a really all-around day trader and profitable every single day. Imagine this. Imagine being profitable every day live in a room every single day, you know, and being and you're hearing the entries, the exits, you're watching through the tape, you're watching the trade go through. Even when I lose, you're still going, okay, he just lost on that one, he lost on that one. But man, he just nailed it on that one, nailed it on that one, nailed it on that one, and he's green. And then to take you through each of those trades and describe each one even before the market even opens. And this is the beauty of Awesome Calls Trading. That we spend the time to really do the homework to be able to put out a quality call so you, the trader, can make money. Because at the end of the day, what good is it for me to say, hey, I made 100 grand today. Hey, I made 19,000 today. Hey, I made 20,000 today. Hey, I made 40,000 today. When you look, as I discussed yesterday, think about it for a second. If you've got a room that's got you hooked on his platform, and that platform has made a deal with him to get people to use his platform, and they get paid per click, and he's encouraging you to do like 18, 20 trades, and then he's got a bunch of subs that are just really, and he's kind of conning you to um, in a sense that he's kind of conning you that you have to. And what I mean by that is like, you know, little things like, well, you don't have to. Why don't you just come in? You don't even have to be a trader. You just want to be around friends, and stuff like that. That's you got to pay your bills, traders. You got to pay your bills, and and when a guy's kind of using you as sheep and using you to click, 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 and I get paid there, I get paid on the sub, I get paid on my DVD. Obviously, his account is going to be a larger size than yours because you're feeding his money. I mean, you're the reason why he can basically trade, even if he doesn't even trade. He's just fucking around using your money, and you don't want that. You want to be in a room where you're just really educated and taught how to look at a stock, how to trade it, um, what to look for. Why is the stock going to go up? Why is it going to go down? If the market starts to flush, what to look for so you don't get caught in a long and the market's flushing out. And just overall, like I love the first opening minutes. A lot of people can't trade the open, and I find that a lot, especially outside this room. Just a lot of people can't trade the open because it's too fast. And the reason why they look at the open is it's too fast is because they don't understand why the stock's going to make the move, and because they don't understand, they won't take the trade. They'll let the trade just set up, and they'll take the back side or the front side of the stock. And in essence, if I'm saying this is a gap fill, but it's going to pop first, they won't play the pop. They'll play the back side of it, wait for it to come down, bottom curl, then they'll nail it long. I'm different. I've been doing this for 16 years, so I know it's going to pop, and I anticipate how much it's going to pop. And so what I try to do is teach that so a trader can actually capitalize on both sides of the trade as he begins his morning. And honestly, if you're going to wait for the market to settle in, then you're not even going to want to trade pre-market. And yet we love to trade pre-market with Janny Moore in the morning. Janny Moore runs the chat room in the morning sessions, and he's just phenomenal. And today we had a really fun stock, and it was given today by, I think it was either Adam or someone else in the room pre-market, and it was Acer. Now Acer had some bad news because the FDA rejected their vascular syndrome treatment program. Okay, when the FDA rejects something, yes, the stock does get hurt. All right, I'm not going to say it doesn't. And today was evident it did. It was just a $20 stock sitting at $4. Okay, but Acer still can go and plead and appeal the FDA and ask them to revisit if they make the changes the FDA. So imagine if I give you give me a report and I say I'm going to have to give you a D because this doesn't hit the points I need. But however, if you go back home and you do what I ask and fix it, I'll give you a B. So the FDA is basically giving them the list. This is why we're rejecting this. So you can still fix this, but meanwhile, the stock is going to get really hammered. Now, how do you play a stock like that? Well, um, because I've been doing this for 16 years, the minute I walked in and I saw it pull to 3, we were long at 355. I told the chat room this stock should bounce to 5. And if you look really carefully, I said, take the long at 350, 355, 360, and the stock should pop to 5. If it runs through 5, we have a shot at 7. But you have to play small size. I didn't want anybody going in there with huge size. I also told the traders the stock will grind out through the entire day. And in the last 30 minutes to an hour is when it should start to make its move. So I wanted all the traders to be aware of that. In case the stock pulled back to 350 or 375, then to me, it's even more of a buying opportunity. The stock should be at between $5 and $7, and that's where the stock should sit. So I'm preparing traders. But in pre-market, I'm putting together this entire list, this analyst list, and I want traders to make money that can trade pre-market. And I want them to be happy, and I want them to make money, and I want them to just enjoy. And so what I did is I told them, go well. And as you can see, it was a beautiful winner this morning. And here was the opening bell. Ding, 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 ding. And I'll show it to you. And we were buying the stock right around here. I think it was about right here. Let me show you this right there. And we were C to 3, and then it popped to 431. And there is your buys this morning: 339, 340, 341, 355, 360. And I said, just be patient, just be patient, just be patient. Some were getting at 365, 370. And my goal was to get it to 5, and it hit $5.70. That is a 2-point trade in pre-market. And it was very liquid, and it was a simple trade to take. I liked it a lot, and that's what I did. So that was the first trade out of the gate. And then now what it's doing is it's grinding. You see this grind? But I got the stock when it goes back to 5. When it hits 5, that's when I want it to rip. So that's my call on that one. The next one I did was PYX. This was a really cool trade today to do. And the reason why, because I believe it was Imperial, came out with just this ridiculous price target of 71. But we've traded PYX before. And it's like, what I love about PYX is simply the fact that it is kind of one of these broken down stocks that it makes a move. really good moves. And if you look at the last, just how it trades out, it was kind of bottomed here at 12, $14 a share. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, and we've had the stock go up to 28. I've been in the room where it's run all the way to like 10 points in a day. And this stock is got some history on it. And Imperial came out with just an amazing $71 price target. I mean, something that would topple all of this. Now, that's not realistic, but it'll get us $4 or $5 on the stock. I saw it gapping up about a point and a half, and I made the call that the stock would probably pop at the open towards 18, 17 to 18, then scale in short, try to gap fill it back to 15, scale in long, add at 14, have an average, and hold it for a swing. And that's it. You can buy calls on it, hold it for a month, see if it hits 20, 22. Um, and it was a great call. I called long right out of the gate, and there's the long. Bam! Beautiful trade. So it's got a lot of room. The next stock that I hit was a company called. Wow, there's so many. Gosh. I can go to Crowd. I like Crowd. I like Netflix. I like ABBV. Oh, that was nice. I'll show you that one. And Grub. I'll show you Grub. Grub was really dope. I loved Grub this morning. It was really easy to read. Citibank came out with a nice analyst call this morning. It was gapping up. They put a $91 price target on Grub. They went to Starbucks Grub, and I believe there was another one they liked a lot. One thing you have to know is that Citi's a tier one analyst. And so when they give these calls, you have to respect them, and I do. So I knew Grub was going to squeeze because I got a lot of retail shorts here that are overnighting, thinking the market was going to pull and they were going to cash out in the morning, which is typically they were going to be right, but you can't anticipate when you're going to get an analyst call. And Grub just came out with a beautiful analyst call. And so what it did is it caused a gap up. When you get a gap up like that, you have to anticipate the shorts are going to want to squeeze out of it and get out because they don't want to be a part of this movement to the upside. If the market was green, the stock would have probably hit 80, back down to 75, curl around, hit 80 again. But because the market's been pulling and soft, the stock was just going to pop. And I called this to $78 at the open on Grub, which is right here. And there it goes. I think I would long it to 77, 78. If you want to short it, give it room to the 78, and the stock should collapse down to 73.50. And I was almost there. I got to be honest, I was almost there, but it just didn't give the rest away, and it was a little frustrating. But it doubled bottomed here at this level at 74, and there's nothing you could do about it. So anyway, and that one was that one. So, and we popped it, shorted it, and I think Ollie Biggs and his crew traded this, and they did very, very well. And we did bounce it off this double bottom. Brandy did very well on that as well. I think Leanna traded this also off the short, and you can also see a double topping here as well. It was a great play. Just had to understand the trade, that's all. The other one was ABBV. Now, everyone knows that ABBV this morning bought AGN. Okay, so I want you to look at these two trades. Okay, now we don't trade buyouts when they're merging or being bought out at a set price. I tend to stay away from them because I don't want traders get caught, especially when there's a set price. So I tend to stay. But on ABBV, all right, what was different? I'm going to show you a stock called NVIDIA. Okay, you see this NVIDIA here? NVIDIA got bought MLNX. When they bought MLNX, I told everyone to go long the stock. And the reason why at 150 that day, and the stock ran about 10, 12 points. And the reason why I called for a long, and the stock ended up going all the way up to 194. And the reason why I called for it is because MLNX was a very profitable money-making company. And so all their money and all their profits were going to go on Nevada's books for the next quarter and represent. And that created a frenzy in the stock. I was listening to a chat room. He actually made a comment on a video that he had no clue why NVIDIA was moving up. And that just shows you just somebody traded a couple of years and wants to run a chat room. It's just like here we're calling long at 150 solid, and we're telling everyone buy 170 calls that day. So when you have positive cash flow from another company and you're buying NVIDIA or the company is buying them, chances are the stock will run on that because those will be on the books of NVIDIA. However, On AGN is not, um, it's not as profitable, and they have a lot of debt, and so what creates is a problem that AGN has to incur that, and then I think they paid 63 billion for this. So you're going to get a massive sell-off. There's no way the stock's going to go up, and nothing on their books is going to enhance it at this time and moment. It might be something good down the road, but right now the stock is going to get hurt. So I called the stock to flush to 68 at the open. That's my call. And then I wanted to bounce it, and but the stock ended up going to 66. It was a great call because I didn't think it was a long, but I've actually got some long now at 66.11. I'm overnighting, but I thought it was a very good call to short the stock from 72 to 68 and under. And then it should go back up 2 to 3 points. And we did bounce it in the room. I took the first bounce live, I believe, right here. I went long at 67 in the chat room at 67.11. This is one of my first trades on the stock, and I nailed it right here, and I sold it for 70 cents, and then I got out in front of the chat room. It's one of my first trades this morning. The next stock that we did was a Netflix short. Now, Netflix was a great short and would have normally have bounced, but when the market's pulling and selling off, then in SPY's yanking, you can't really buy Netflix because it goes right alongside Netflix. And so on Netflix, I did call for a short. It was one of the things that I wanted everyone to do because I saw this market flat, so I figured we'll probably pop at the open towards 373, and then we should gap fill to 368, 369 or under. I did want to long it at those areas if the market held, but it's, like Darkside points out when he's on the mic, or I'm seeing the market pull, you can't long Netflix. You just have to keep letting it slide until the market starts to show some stability. And then we go from there. And then, so that's what I called. I called a short on Netflix at 372, 373, and it's been a nice thing. But all credit due, there's the 368 I was kind of looking for. It was a nice play. And if you look at my opening bell, you see how it hit right on my targets and then bounced. I mean, this was right on point. But once the market doesn't hold, it's going to collapse. And that's like when Darkside and Jenny will come in. I mean, I even came in back from my break, and I even saw this 361 and called it short for a point, 2 more points, and it dipped. So anyway, that one's that, and the last but not least was a stock called Len. Len was a really pretty cool stock to play this morning until the conference call came. And this is the one thing you have to learn about conference calls. It could go either way. I typically like to short into the call. When it gaps up, I want to short into the call. Once the call starts, I like to play long the call because I think the CEO is going to go and try to fix the damage that was done. The problem is you play that, but sometimes, like today, Lynn actually, the CEO, destroyed his stock today, and he made it actually worse than it was. And whatever he said during the first 2 minutes, just the investors just bailed. And there's nothing you can do. You just have to set your stops. All right. And it was interesting too because I went long Len here, live in the room at 51.57. This is me right here. And see it, 51.57. And I said, I'm going to play this for a quick scalp into the call. And it ended up paying me 38.40. So I took it. I mean, I had, I think, 250, 300 shares on this trade. So I just took my money. I mean, I'm a scalper when it comes to that stuff, in and out, and I was done. I saw it hit what I was looking for, that 52 area. The call still hadn't started, so I thought, well, I'll just wait and probably do it again. But I want you to look at the initial call, how this really set up for everyone in the room. On Len, what I did is I set this up to actually, I wanted it to gap fill to 52 at the open. Just pull at the open to 52 and under bottom curl go long back up to 53, 54. It was so fun. This was probably the easiest trade to do this morning, the easiest read. The stock had closed at 51.41 and was gapping up at 54.70 pre-market. Towards pre-market, it hit 53.50, so I figured, okay, watch for the pop, but I don't want to buy it up here. I want to nail the pullback. And because the earnings were okay, they weren't stellar, I didn't think the stock would shred out of the gate and pop 8 or 10 points. I read the report and it didn't justify it. It justified an actual gap fill, and that's really what I was after. They beat on earnings, great, but I didn't see their guidance come out, and I think that's probably what killed the stock. And I did make it very clear. I think I put it on here. They didn't give guidance because I did not see any guidance, and the guidance was probably given in the conference call, which created the sell-off. So Len, we called, and I want you to see how this worked this morning because it was a beautiful trade. I was actually really mad at myself for missing the trade, but it pulled, and there's the gap fill to 51.60, if you could see it. And I called a long right there, and it popped right back up. It was just a beautiful trade. And I called the short too to gap fill it. So, but once the call started, you can tell it just collapsed. Otherwise, it would have held and went right back up. But investors just got spooked. That's why it went down. So today's tickers I did in front of everyone were, and when I trade live, you hear my entry, you hear it go off, you look at the tape, you watch it go through. I tell the chat room, and 9 times out of 10, my entries are not going to be as good as yours. I mean, you probably wait, well, I'll wait a second, I'll probably get better pricing than him. That's okay. I mean, it's part of the business, you can do what you want, but I traded ACER pre-market. I traded ABBV, Cries, Len, Netflix, and Tyson. Tyson, I traded live in the room. It was in the room. Right. Oh, yeah, we did promote a new moderator in the room. His name is Adam. He gave us this falling knife on Tyson. And again, this is what I do. I go long at 77.57. Stock's 80. This came out with the U.S. government was going to investigate them on some fraud or something like that. I was kind of like, yeah, this is Tyson. So I played the short real quick when it collapsed right here, and I called it out, and I shorted it, covered, pulled it. It pulled. I waited, and I went. I saw this get ready to bounce. I went long here, 77.57 fills, and I sold on the first pop, and I was done with the trade. And it ended up going all the way up to $80. So nice trade. I really love what I do, traders, and when you're in here, I want to help you and just guide you, and just today I did really good. 6 for 6 stocks, 6 for 6 trades, 6 for 6 plays, and I was very comfortable what I did. I wasn't playing with big size. I just enjoyed the moves, and it was a very fun day for me. So anyway, that's it. That's our webinar for today. Thank you for joining us. I hope you join us for tomorrow. And right now, we're trying to see if Acer gets going before the end of the day. I'm long a little bit of ABBV. I'll add our weakness, and I'm looking for an overnight on that one. And if it goes too much, I'll just cut it off. I'm only lose a couple $100. It's not a big deal. And other than that, it was a really good list. And every morning, you do see that I do point out a report card on me. And this is actually a survey taken in the chat room. I go over some of the top traders in the room that have been with me a while, and I ask them to grade me on my work today. And that's what I do. So, and this is why I get this. Sometimes I get a 90. Sometimes they say 93. I give 12 great ideas, and that's what. So my report card today was 95%. So I was really happy that I earned that from them. All right. So anyway, thank you so much. And I appreciate it, and I look forward to trading with you tomorrow. All right, take care. God bless.